Do you hate small talk, especially when you're meeting new people at work? Well, as a head of business development, where I meet new partners every single day, I've actually come up with several conversation starters to break the ice and build rapport instantly so that I actually come to enjoy the small talk. And let me walk you through three of my favorites. So the first one that I always do is I LinkedIn research them. Okay, so if I know them in advance, who they are, I'm going to find as much information about them that I find interesting. This does not mean it has to be common ground. You do not have to go to the same school. You do not have to be from the same area. That does not matter. What matters is, do you find something interesting and can you ask a genuine question about that? So for example, the other day I was meeting with a partner contact who was based in California, but her company's headquarters were out in Norway. And she had just joined. So I was like, oh, I'm curious. I saw that you just joined X company. What motivated you to want to work for a company based in Norway? I'm really curious to hear the story. And then it just got her elaborating more about her background, what motivated her, and I got to learn more about her instantly, right? And it also shows that I took the time to actually learn more about her. That is totally fair game. It's not stalking, it's actually showing that you care. The second thing that I do, especially in virtual meetings, is I try to notice something interesting about their background or what they're wearing. And remember, this is super important. You don't want to come off as provocative or presumptive or say anything that could be deemed very controversial. So instead, what I do is if I see something in their background that catches my eye, catches my interest, I'll ask a question about it. Like the other time I saw someone have a big Elvis poster and I said, oh, I see that you have an Elvis Presley poster. What's your favorite song from Elvis? And then they share all their interests around his music. Or another time I saw someone had a glove from the Baltimore Orioles and I was like, oh, really cool to see that you have a glove from the Baltimore Orioles, but I know that it sounds like you're based in Minnesota. What made you a fan of Baltimore? Yeah, just hear what they say. But you ask a question that's open-ended and gets them to elaborate about themselves. And this is great because it breaks away, and this is the key, break away from daily patterns. Right? What do I mean by daily patterns? This is essentially conversation starters like, oh, where are you from? Oh, how's the weather out there? Boring stuff. We say it all the time. You're not really memorable when you talk about topics like that in the beginning. And then finally, what do I do if none of that works for me? If I haven't done the research or if I don't have a clear background that catches my eye, I ask, how are you? This is the catch-all. This is such an important question because it's open-ended enough for you to get really valuable data about the other person, because they'll do one of two things. They'll either say, good, and you? It's clear that you need to set the tone of that conversation. But if they say, oh, I'm great, right? And blah, 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 I did all of this and this is why I'm great, then you have something to work off of, build off what they said. But this question basically helps you determine whether you need to lead the small talk or you can follow. And so when you are put in this scenario, good, and you, what do? Well, I'll tell you what I do is I like to comment on something I recently did that's positive, because you want them to associate you with a positive experience, a positive feeling. So I might say, oh, I'm doing great. You know, it's a beautiful day outside. And just this morning, I actually took like a pretty long 30-minute walk with my 3-year-old Bichon Frise just to clear my head. It's one of my favorite things to do out here. And it's actually lovely enough out in Seattle where I can actually do that. See, gives them enough information about me. I like long walks to clear my head. I also have a dog, a Bichon Frise. See if they catch on to that. This is what we call conversational threading, where they can pick up on what you said, right? But either way, this is a great practice, which again, you focus on something positive about you that recently happened, okay? Because then you're not sharing too much about yourself, but you're not sharing too little either. It's a nice little balance. So if you take any of those three approaches, I promise you, you can engage in small talk, build a connection much more quickly than you otherwise might have. All right, hope that helps. Have a good one.